Hello, my name is Donald Trump. I am here to fuck everything up for a second time. My name is Donald Trump, and I am here to introduce to you the best podcast ever. Here he is, Timothy Pate.
My voice and presence reflect calm, wisdom, and quiet strength emotions I bring to every role to move and inspire audiences deeply. But when I hear Timothy Pate's voice in his amazing podcast, I almost have to stop and take a listen.
I know, me
Here he is,
too.
Mr. Timothy Pate.
Now you got it? Oh, I see what you mean.
Dukin. I had to do that.
On the podcast today,
Yeah.
we have Timothy Pate here.
All right.
Live.
Got Dylan here with us again tonight. Today is 1/20/2026, and I wanted to say, okay, number one, and you know. Last week's podcast was good, but I caught myself saying so every time I say you know.
I'm going to tally it.
Yeah.
I'm going to
We'll
add a
tally
tally. Right here on the...
So what I'll have to do is if I accidentally say I'll have to hit the oh, I just did it.
There's one.
I'll have to do the drum roll. There's one. So let's work on that tonight. Anyhow? Yeah, that was one. Welcome to the podcast, The World According to Me. My name's Timothy Pate. That's Dylan Pate. Oh boy. We got a lot to talk about today on this podcast. Let me see. Let me check my book. I look good. Writing this one is here called Bumper Writing from the fine folks over at purple-planet.com. Purple-planet.com. Let me go here real quick. Purple-planet.com. So what is purple-planet.com? If you're wondering, purple-planet.com is a site where you can use their music. You can use it for your podcast. You can use it in your videos. It's very simple, and it's pretty much royalty free. All that they ask is that you give them recognition. You can also
Makes sense.
buy and lease the music. So let's say I wanted to download My Tiny Garden and I wanted to use it in my podcast. I could use it in my podcast and nobody would say anything, as long as I put on my website or my podcast that I'm using the music from purple-planet.com. All the music is written and performed by Chris Martin and Jeff Harvey, and they're real humans. This isn't AI generated, so it's all realistic. That is one of them. It's called Writing Bumpers, and you can get it over on purple-planet.com. So, as I said, I'm giving my due, or what would you say? I'm giving recognition to the fine folks over at purple-planet.com. I would love with a big heart. Is that how you do it? Big heart.
Like a heart, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, like that. I would
Yeah.
love if somebody that I knew could do bumpers for me. And if you're wondering what a bumper is, you know, Howard Stern has a bumper in his music. Or, well, it's a bumper. The Great American Nightmare. And it's performed by him. And, are you ready? Drum roll. I would do a drum roll, but I don't have it queued up. Done by the amazing man himself, Rob Zombie. Yes.
Wow, I didn't know that.
If you listen to the song American Nightmare, it's got Rob Zombie and Howard Stern on it. And Howard does a little bit, and the vast majority of it is obviously done by, I almost said it, is done by, oh, there it goes, okay, is done by Rob Zombie. So anyhow, welcome. Again, it's right at 2 a.m. Yeah, it's 2 a.m. I was watching, you can't really see it over there. I was watching that.
Oh, the strange. Yeah. You were saying how are you
Things.
liking it?
Okay, so I had a really bad opinion of it at first, and my opinion has somewhat changed. It's actually bringing a lot of closure to what happened or has happened in the past.
Oh, from the past season? Oh,
yes.
So you're talking about overall this season
Yeah.
that just came out. Oh, okay.
So my opinion last night was, oh my God, this sucks. And the first episode was kind of like the first Godfather. Very, very slow. And the second episode, which obviously the second Godfather, had this big buildup where you get to see everybody and how they became who they are. And it also gives you a little bit about Vecna. That's that underworld guy and the upside down and talking with my hands like I always do. But all in all, I would say I'm more impressed with episode 2, season 5. But as always, what happened, Buddy was trying to talk on the mic. What happened in the last season built up to this. And if you remember, they went on hiatus for
a while.
Almost 2 years, right?
Yeah. It was for a while, yeah. Wow.
So at any rate, I'm enjoying it so far. And I'll put that in quotes. So far. So, what in the hell? The name of this episode is What in the Hell is Going On? I believe that's what I had chosen. Yeah. What's going on in the world today? There's a lot. We have something that, AI technology. What's going on in Minneapolis, Minnesota? Struggling in the modern economy. Are we in the late stage of capitalism or late stage of America imperialism? And people you work with are not your friends. So I'm trying to figure out how to segue into this from what I was just talking about. And I also really quick wanted to bring up, I have officially canceled my subscription to World of Warcraft. I'm not saying it's a forever thing. I know that you have an opinion. Okay, first and foremost, I have been playing World of Warcraft, and I talked about this a bit on episode number 2. I have been playing World of Warcraft on and off since 2007. I was introduced to the game. But before I was introduced to the game, I watched, almost said it, I watched Trey Parker and Matt Stone of
South Park, yeah.
South Park. And that was my opinion of the game. So every day I would go to work and I would listen to my coworkers, Dana and Justin, talk about it all the time. And they were like, "You've never played World of Warcraft?" And I'm like, "Are you talking about that game that's on what did we just say? What was the name
South
of it?
Park?
South Park, yeah. And they're like, yeah, but it's nothing like that, dude. It's fun. It's fun. Look, it's like when someone takes their first hit of drugs. I was in. I was like, oh, it opened my eyes up. So Dylan has been playing the game
Yeah.
since '07, I would say as well. He was just a little kid. And we've all played the game. Literally, everybody in my family has played the game. Dylan, Derek, Tim, Trevor, we've all played the game. And Derek is still playing. He's playing, what is it called?
Classic TBC anniversary or something. It's another edition. Yeah.
I said, you didn't catch it.
I did. I wasn't trying to point
Okay.
at it.
I caught myself. So, that being said, where can I go with this? I'll let you go. You go ahead.
I mean, where you can go with it. I mean, look at something like, and I feel like it plays into everything here. When we've played the game for as long as we have, okay, I'll start with this. World of Warcraft's community is extremely, like, vocal. There, and it's sometimes it's like, do you really need to be that vocal? So it creates a lot of things, and obviously, if you're somebody that like plays the game like 8 hours a day, and you're just playing it like religiously, yeah, you're gonna run out of stuff to do and content to do and all that. I mean, because you're technically playing it like it's your job. But I feel like man, we've been playing this game. Well, I've been playing it most half of my life. Like, yeah, well, 75% of my life. Yeah, I'm about to be 25. So 2007, I was 6. Yeah, most of a lot of my life, and we've put a lot of time into this game, and I don't know, we've gotten to a point where, one, we love the game, but every single expansion, every single update, it's an endless loop, even with the older versions. And now they're doing the older versions, like for an example with TBC Classic, so the whole game is about like leveling and doing dungeons and stuff. But now you can pay like $60 and get a free well, not free, but yeah, I mean, you're paying for it, but you can get almost to max level and be ready to go into the Dark Portal for this new expansion that goes along with it. So it's become this sort of thing. Microsoft is just trying to make money, and Blizzard has been wanting to do that for a while, and they have done this before, but it's become this sort of thing where, I don't know about you, but I'm just like, no, I can play a different game. I can play all these other games. There's so much more out there worthwhile. Especially like, for an example, like PvP. You go in and you do PvP for a season, like for me and him, we were playing PvP for so long. We were gearing up. We geared up at least like 2-3 times this expansion alone, and that's what 3 seasons about. And we played through all 3 of those seasons, and it was just an endless loop. And one season our class was like somewhat good. The next one, they're all right. And then we play Retribution Paladin and a bunch of other ones. So it's been a loop, and it's just like I could go play League of Legends or Minecraft or something, and my time is going to be valuable. And it's not like I can, balance change is going to change my class or the way I play. Because what had happened too is, as somebody, because he quit, my dad, he quit for a while. When he came back, it was about the same time what Battle for Azeroth was about. It was pre-patch. Yeah, and during that time, my goodness, Retribution Paladin and Legion was awesome. Like, some people have their own opinion on it. I thought it was awesome. I was kicking what, and I was just going crazy. But it's sort of become like it's just an endless grind, and it kind of affects the whole thing. Oh yeah, this is somebody. Oh, what did somebody say right here?
Can you see it okay?
Yeah, I can see it okay. Yeah. So it feels like WoW has lost its meaning for me. Wonder what this person has to say. You want to read it out?
Let's see. Yeah, here, I'll read it out. So 5 versus 5. Okay, so you want it used to play I used to play obsessively back in college when I didn't have friends and I was living in another city I'd never been to before. Yeah, I tried to get out and explore and make friends, but it's not so easy. That guy's a crybaby. 5 versus 5, they're talking about that. This happened to me and a lot of people I know. The progression has become monotonous. Grind your keys, get your weekly loot in a vault, rinse and repeat. Think about how many MMOs there are today. Then take into account the fact that many younger people don't. Anyway, all right. So
There's tons of variables, yeah, to that equation.
So for me, I'll tell you how I feel about it. And I think a lot of it has to do with the development department, with who owns the game. And the community is extremely toxic, like never before. You've got a bunch of people that go on and make everything about gender identity, homophobia, transphobia. Everyone always has to be right.
Yeah,
And-
yeah.
And then away from that, we'll go back to the development of the game. Everything is now become pretty much pay to play. What else?
I mean, let's talk about that. I mean, sorry for saying that. I've said that 2 times, but you said that right there, pay to play. You don't you can literally go online. Oh god. You can go online and basically find some dude, pay him like $20 or pay him in gold or even in the trade chat, and you can grind through everything, get the best ranked gear, everything. It just there's no regulation on it, and it's like you put all this time and what, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep.
It, uh,
Anyhow, that's where I'm at. So do I want to pay for the next expansion? I don't know. Probably not. I don't know. We'll see. So we'll go right into the next part of what we talked about before tonight's podcast or this morning's podcast. People at work, they're not your friends. People you work with aren't your friends. Work husbands, when people live a second life, and if you have a job that is a 5-day-a-week job or whatever, you spend more time at work than you do at home. And why is it important to separate work from your personal life? Is it good to have friends that you work with? Is meeting someone from work a bad or good idea? Think in dating. No.
you don't-
Because
yeah,
we'll start off with that one. That's going to be number 1 for me. Okay. You work with these people 5 days a week, or whatever your work week can consist of, whether it be 24 hours a week, 32 hours a week, or 42 hours a week, or 12, whatever, or 10. You see these people that you work with. They now know where you live. In an essence, you're dating these people that you work with. The difference is you're not bringing them to your house. Okay? So now you put dating into that.
Yeah.
They know where you live. Obviously, your work knows where you live if you give them your address. But dating people at work is like pushing poop back into your ass. It doesn't belong there. That's why it's leaving your body. Is it good to have friends that you work with? Nobody at my work is my friend. That's number 2. Why is that? Because people that you work with, if you quit that job, you're probably never going to see them again. They'll be friendly with you for a few months after you leave. Hey man, how you doing? Hey, did you find any work yet? Yeah, I'm working at the Five and Dime, blah, 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 blah. And that's it. You'll never hear from again. And it's like Dylan said earlier. I need to shave. I look like, what was his name? I don't even know.
McCormick.
Yeah, Mitch McCormick. I don't even know who the hell that is.
Who the hell is? Hey, if your name is Mitch McCormick, yeah, I look like you today.
Give us a shout.
Yeah, give us a shout out.
I don't know.
I mean, like, look at it. Like,
how many people do you know that you worked with in the past 3 years that you're still talking to today?
None of those people. The last time, yeah, I had all those friends and they were like, yeah, let's keep in touch. We'll stay on Discord and Steam and text and stuff. Nah, none of them. They just got busy. And it's life. I understand. It just happens. I mean, I said it again. When we get like, think about it, how quickly time passes by. There's so much going on. You can't. The only things a lot of people I feel like care about are the things that are more tangible. If it's something that is not, ain't nobody gonna do that. No. For me, I don't even. Yeah, sure, I've been friendly with people at work, but never have I been like, yeah, come on, yeah, dude, after work, let's hang out and get drinks. I don't want to hang out and get drinks. Or go out, I mean, maybe get food or something, sure, maybe, but I got to be really close with that person. And not only that, but it requires me to, be a little out of my comfort zone. I don't think that works because it's like the other point, and we could segue into it. You have to, it's okay to have friends, right? It's okay to have work friends, but you also need to separate, your work from your personal life. You have to be able to do that, because what happens is some shit happens. We have I don't want to use them as an example, but I'm going to do it anyways. We have a close friend. They met somebody at work. They're dating them. They ended up dating them. They ended up in a situation. I hope everything goes okay with them, but now there's a situation where that person is living there with them, and who knows what can happen. I don't know how they've been or what's going on with them. But let's just say something happens and there's an argument or whatever it is. It just causes an unnecessary rift that you can completely avoid, especially once you have them in your. I mean, I don't know. If I found somebody that was really chill, it really depends, but it would have to be a very special person. I don't think I could do that. I don't feel comfortable doing that. I just don't. Like dating somebody from work?
No.
Yeah, no.
Like, you bring somebody home from work, it's like inviting negative energy into your home.
Yeah.
The reason that I say that is because work is here and your home is here. You're bringing those two together. And is it a good idea to fuck somebody from work?
No.
It sounds like it at first, but then like...
It's like taboo, yeah.
Yeah, like...
It's like, oh yeah, dude, this is gonna be so cool. Mary from work, oh. Yeah, we're gonna
bring her over.
Yeah, it's just... Come on, bro. That's low, and I think that's low. Like, in terms of... Because I'm not trying to say okay, I'm not trying to say it this way, but the person I was with prior, I think they did that. They had a whole work husband, a whole, and they had somebody to come to, and it was like what we were saying earlier, like that joke we made. It's like, well, if something happens, blah blah blah. Yeah, the dude's gonna be on the side of the chick, guys. Come on.
Yeah, of course.
And it's nothing against. It's not misogyny. It's not whatever. It's just. It's like if you hear something negative, you're gonna it's like the news, right? Is if you see something negative in a certain place, you're gonna, and it keeps showing up, Sure, you're gonna be like, yeah, that's negative. There's got to be something bad going on there. Same thing applies to something like that. And I think it's when what happens is sometimes people take advantage of that. And the person who's being the complainer, the gal, the man, the whoever it is, whatever they are, that person that they're talking to, who knows if they're actually on their side or who. It just creates an unnecessary rift. You don't need that, and it just it's not good, and it's not good because just I don't like thinking about it. And that's why I thought it was a good topic that you brought it up, because I think I've kind of experienced that before with somebody I was with. And it made things weird, man. Like, have you?
What?
Like,
Which part?
I mean, has any like significant other you had done that to you? Like where they had somebody they were really close with at work, like a dude or even a lady.
All right. So I'm going to tell you a story real quick. Here we go. Story mode. All right.
Oh, I like that. That was nice.
Story mode by Timothy Pate. So the year was 1994, and I was working at a place with my mother. And I worked in a place that was predominantly Latinas. And there were a few guys there, and they were all Latinos. And I started talking to a girl that worked there. Well, we started flirting. And at least once or twice a week, I've always done this where any place that I work, when I come to work, I always have something to eat at lunch away from where I work. So not saying that I shoot off to Carl's Jr. or McDonald's. I just go to my car because I want to eat in peace. I want to listen to music. So I go to my car. And I don't like sitting in a break room with other people.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Right. And this goes back to that work thing. I work with you 5 days a week. I don't want to eat with you. I don't want to converse about whatever telenovela you like or who's fucking who. So I go to my car. And anyhow, I don't remember the girl's name. We're talking 1994. How many years is that? That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So the flirting became more than flirting. And what happened was we ended up hooking up, as the kids say these days. You like the quotes? We messed around a few times. And this was back before cell phones were affordable. So one night she told me it was her roommate, that her roommate was paging. And it goes off and she goes, "Can I use your phone?" And we were in the middle of coitus. We were having intercourse. So I said, "Yeah, of course." So I don't know what she was doing on the phone, but I'm assuming that she blocked my number from showing up on whomever she was calling. And she was talking to them in Spanish, telling them that she should be done in like 45 minutes. Because she lived in the same city that I lived in at the time, which was Santa Ana. Anyhow, which was where she lived was like 10 minutes away from my house. So I thought no more of it. And then I remember a few times we had gotten off work early, and I remember it was a Wednesday evening, and we got off work early that day. And my mother's house was probably from where the company that we worked for, from her house was 30 feet, 40 feet.
Yeah, I was close. Yeah.
Like I showed you right across the street. Like it wasn't even a street. It was a little alley that went into the yard of this catering company. And I had gone over, and I used to always park my car either in the front of the building after I had lunch, or I would park it at my parents' house. And both of my parents at the time worked for the company. So at any rate, I go out there, and I went to my car, and I had turned my CB radio on. And she went to the car and opened the door to the car, and there were like 3 kids in the back of the car. Yeah. And yeah, there were like 3 kids in the back of the car, and there was a guy in the car with her. And I didn't see anybody else in there. So, look, I'm like 20, 21. And I'm not thinking with this head. I'm thinking with the one between my legs. So I wasn't thinking. I didn't put 2 and 2 together. And so I just didn't think about it anymore. So I had gone on vacation a week later. Yeah, it was in like February of 94. I had gone on a week's vacation. So I had gone over to my mom and my dad's house. And this guy comes walking up to me. And he asks me in English, because he wasn't Mexican, he was Puerto Rican. And he asked me in like perfect English, he goes, "Do you know that that's my wife?" Yeah, and I said, "Who?" Her name was Irma. Her name was Irma. And I said, "Okay, who is your wife?" And he says, "My wife's name is Irma." Oh. And he says to me, he asks me, he says, "Who are you?" And I said, "Well, my name's Timothy." "Why do you care?" He goes, "Because I know that you're fucking my wife."
Oh my God.
And he says, "I know where you live. I know that car over there is yours." And he said, "I'm only going to tell you one time. And I'll never tell you again. Leave my wife alone. And I'll forget everything." And I had no idea how to respond to that. And he goes,
"Oh my God. Yeah.
I don't care what she told you. It's all bullshit." And he backs up and he puts his hands in front of him like this. And he goes, "Now walk away." That was him telling me that you don't need to say sorry. I know you're sorry. And that was it.
Wow.
I never, ever, ever even looked her in the face again. Dude, listen, guys and gals. And I was 21 years old, and I'm 52 now. So this was in 94. So do the math. I'm not trying to say that I'm this big, tough sex machine, because I was a 21-year-old man full of semen, and I didn't want to use my hand And was it a mistake?
Yeah.
Would I do it again? No. Obviously, I'm in a very good relationship and I love the woman that I'm with. And I had the same conversation with my oldest son a couple of weeks ago. The dogs don't shit where they sleep for a reason. And this all goes back to the beginning of the conversation, minus the World of Warcraft. If you fuck with people at work, it will follow you home. The same company that I worked for in 1994, the boss was fucking one of the employees.
Wow.
The wife found out. His wife found out who he was having sex with. His wife found out that, her husband found out that she was fucking around on him with the boss, Chris, from the job. And there was a physical altercation in the parking lot.
All over that? Like,
He was fired. She got to keep her job. Guys, this went on. When I first started working for that company, I was 14 years old. That was my first job ever. And it went on until 1992. No, 93. He was fired. I never did it again. Look, me, I never did it again. And I'm not, and guys, I probably had sex with her 30 or 40 times. And I would say 3 or 4 times in my car, 10, 11 times in my house, once or twice in a motel room. That's it. And she told me that the guy that she was living with was renting her a room, and that the kids were not hers. They were her roommates. And his roommate had a wife, and that the kids were theirs.
wow.
Look, I never asked any questions in the beginning because I didn't care. Up here, alls I saw, and I know this is going to make me sound like a chauvinistic pig, whatever. I was only thinking about what was between her legs and how good it felt. So, am I a homewrecker? Or was I a homewrecker? Yes. But yeah. I honestly, at 21 years old, I'm a single man. I've got my own house or my own apartment, plenty of money in the bank. I wasn't about having sex with hookers. So don't mess around with people that you work with.
Yeah.
End of story. Okay. So, and another thing before we segue into the next, segue into the next part of the program tonight is, let's see. I said, that was another, but I'm getting better. HR is not your friend either. They are not your friend.
It's like they're programmed literally to be just a part of, like, to represent the company and what that big old thing they have at every company, and that those rules, regulations they have, whatever. They're just meant to follow that. Like,
and they do it by the T. They do it by the T. Some don't always do it, but most of them follow it pretty much strategically. And that's that. So if you go telling HR something that's bad, a lot of times what's going to happen is it will work out, and other times it won't, because their job is to protect the integrity of that company, and their job is not to protect you. And they may tell you that, but that's not what it is. At any rate, that's that. Oh, I said, hold on. Hold on. I'll let
That's
you.
okay.
I'll let you go into the next part. I need to get some more water, so it's all yours. Go ahead.
Do you want me to take over? No, we were gonna get into how. My goodness, hold on, I got something in my eye over here. Hold on. We were gonna go into how AI and technology is and how integrated it is into like everything. Like, come on, you buy a laptop and it's got this thing and it's AI powered and AI this and AI. Come on, it's what the hell. The thing is a lot of these models, to even access them, you're going through like their service, right? And you're going through and you're using it. There's not a lot of these people, a majority of people don't want to sit there and understand, okay, how do I run a local model on my thing and how do I do this and that? Come on, guys. I know a lot of people are busy. We're busy, a busy species. But when you see anything with AI, these people, and I don't even think it's the consumer. I don't think it's the consumer. I don't, as much as people like AI, I don't think the consumer is like, oh my god, dude, this laptop has an NPU in it. What the hell is an NPU? Do you know what an NPU is?
No,
See, there you go.
no, I have no idea what it
I
is.
forget. It's called. Wait. Yeah, neural processing unit. So think of already. So how computers work is there's a CPU. So the CPU does things like, for an example, like when you're loading up something on your, on your computer, it delegates. Oh, okay, put aside this, put aside that. I don't know. GPU does the video handling, whatever. The RAM does, it helps cache stuff. It helps, whatever. I could tell you the whole thing, but when we're adding something else to it, but there's really kind of no, the technology is not there yet. We do have models that can run locally, and there's people that are actually doing like a lot of cool stuff with open source related technology in that domain. But honestly, as somebody who tinkers with that stuff pretty much on a daily basis and has contributed to some of that stuff, nah, it doesn't make sense. The technology, we need something more. We need another DeepSeek. If you remember what DeepSeek was when they came out and they came about, we need like a revolution like that. We need something that is going to change the game again. And right now, we're kind of in we're in the in between of AI right now, where it used to just be where it was like generative AI and you can ask it to write a fucking email for you and shit now, right? Now that thing you can set it up and have agents. These agents, you could tell them, you could delegate them to do certain tasks. So like, let's just say you have a company and you're like, well, I'm running a restaurant. I can't always be at the phone. You could set up an agent to go through and do that, handle your orders, or check your stock. Have an agent do that, or pretty much anything. And I have agents right now set up on this computer, for an example, right? Always looking for the news, always looking at things like the economy and stuff, because I love that kind of stuff. I just set it aside and it doesn't, and it finds that it will give me it back. I set it up, give it to me, and I'm like, oh, okay. But it falls in line with how bad this technology is becoming. Honestly, I think this technology, and it falls back onto our other subtopic, is this, uplifting us? No, I don't think AI is uplifting us. The people who have been the biggest in power and related to like corporations and stuff, they're staying in power, and we're kind of giving up, I feel like, a lot to this AI, and we're basically letting it do the things that humans, and we've had this discussion before, but I mean, you remember when back in the 90s, right? That shift when people were going, oh shit, they were going from like, to the computer. They were going from, well, not the computer, but they were going from, filing things such as like, it could be anything, like a police station does this and they need to keep their files in here. So there used to be a guy or a gal doing this and, categorizing it and stuff. No, you just put it into a print. Back then, even you could just put it into like a thing and it would scan it and save it on a document. Even back then, you could fax it. You could send it. There was, and this was already existed in the 90s where you could do this stuff. So now there's a lot of those jobs that were there, they're gone. So then we also had the shift too when, in the 2000s and later on, more jobs are being taken, things were being given away because technology was just doing things that humans just couldn't do at a quick rate. And now I guess you can call it the 3.0, the 4.0 of that shift. Now the things that were, for an example, people were going to school, right? They were going to school for software engineering, right? Or computer science or whatever it is, right? And they were going to school and they were like, oh, dude, I'm doing this and I'm going to dedicate my life and da, 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 da. Well, dude, the AI is doing 90% of it. The AI, you can get it to test your thing, your app. You don't need that team anymore. You, as the person, you are everything. You are the orchestrator. You're the engineer. You could set all this up for the agents to do. But that's where things are heading, and it really falls in line with like, dude, are we really using this to benefit us? I mean, are you using it on a daily basis? Have you used it to help you out?
No, and I'll okay. Well, that little thing behind me, the Echo, I use it every day. I use it for the alarm. I use Siri.
Excuse me.
That's really about it. And I just, it scares me because we've already become a society of people that need information rapidly.
Yeah.
And I'm one of these people who I try to find the dark of everything. And I think about what would happen if we didn't have our phones, if we didn't have our computers. We take our, well, I mean, this, guys and gals, is a computer, okay? My phone, my iPad. Think about this. You ready? What happens if something happened to our grid? Think about that. You would be okay for the first couple of days. After 3 days, things start becoming bad. After 4 days, things are really bad. And then after 5 days, things are fucked. Because that's about the time you start running out of food. Things become scarce. You are so dependent on all of that. I remember as a kid, and I'm old enough to remember this. I am old enough to remember coming home from school, doing my homework, and then playing my video game. I didn't have a computer. I didn't have a cell phone. I had a beeper when I was 18. I didn't have the luxuries that I have now because they just weren't there. I don't want to depend on something to make my decision for me.
Yeah.
I don't want to call a company and have some fucking AI agent talk to me. I don't want to go to a billion-dollar corporation and have their AI bot talk to me and try to help me with my problem. Amazon, your fucking AI sucks. My doctor's office, your AI sucks. I want a fucking human. I don't care if it's somebody from India, from Pakistan, somebody from the Philippines, wherever. I would rather talk to somebody that speaks broken English. And this is no offense to anyone who's Asian. And I please, I don't want that to be. There is a language barrier. There's more of a language barrier with someone from Pakistan, from India, because their language is difficult. But talking to somebody from the Philippines, they're more familiar with the English language because a lot of Filipinos speak English and it's taught in school. Everything is AI, everything. I hear about it when I'm driving home from work. I hear about AI. When I'm listening to the news in my car. Yes, I'm 52. I like the news. It's everything. It's even talked about in politics now. Trump talked about AI.
But yeah, there's a Project Stargate, is what they're calling it, and a lot of information and stuff. They're working with OpenAI, and they're gonna use a bunch of private information that was used to maybe try to help, I guess, they're put the data centers using data, a whole bunch of stuff. I think that it falls in line with just also too, and you said it right there. I don't just think it's a language barrier you're getting with, like, because I can talk to somebody, right, over the phone and they have broken English or something, right, or even on the internet, but they could take the time and try to understand and sit there. The thing is, though, is when it's AI,
they only know what they're taught.
And the whole thing is right now AI is called, well, the technology is called a large language learning model. All it is just taking the data from that, whatever that is, whatever the word it is, they're taking it and just using predictability, using, okay, this might work because of this guy's prompt and they said this and that, whatever it is. And it's just compiling the data and putting out an output. There's no understanding. Sure, it might know the context of what the word even what means. Sure, it might know the context of it, but does it understand the understanding? Will it understand? Because when you're having this AI too, it's basically like text to speech. You know how it works when it's text to speech? It's like that. When you're talking to it, it's like when you're transcribing on your phone, you're driving, your gal sends you a text and you're like, shit, I can't, text, so I'm going to use that. That's all it's doing. There's no inner working that's special. And there's the technology that's trying to study more of how to understand human language, the tones and whatnot and all that. There's numerous ones out there. Sesame, for an example. That one's pretty cool. But when you don't have that understanding basis right there, and it really sorts into this whole topic we're talking about here. When you don't have that understanding and you have something that is programmed to just be like, yes, let me give this to you, yes, it only knows the data it's given to and the system prompt that it's told to do, the thing. Guys, there's no magic happening. A lot of these, sure, I will say we do not know exactly how some intricate things and stuff work, but really it's just a large text processing thing. There's nothing all glimmers, and then I feel like it can mess up more than a human because, like I said right there, the understanding. And then also, what happens to those jobs? What happens? Because already we had that shift that was going on during COVID even. Remember how people were swapping over to, go
working from
countries,
home.
Dude. And they were getting people from other countries to work from home too, or in call centers and to do things. And there was that shift. I feel like that was and I've said this before in a personal conversation we've had, but that was when the shift started, and that's what needed to happen.
For
this technology to be where it's at. And I'm not like a philosopher or whatever. Go and research yourself.
Mhm.
You could call it tinfoil hat thing, but it had to happen. It had to have happened for this technology to boom, because there was a need for something to fill in the hole, fill in the gap. And right about the same time, boom, AI was able to capitalize on what was happening because inflation, things like that. These companies, they had to figure out a way how to, spread their money out, make it. Even these billion-dollar corporations, they were just trying to find ways to save money and to make more money for their shareholders. And it shifts in there because it's also too it's also being used in our defense technology now. We have companies, you probably don't know these ones, but there's Anderhall. I believe Anderhall is actually going to be an open company soon. By that, they're going to be on the stock market. So if anybody defense, if you're investing, I would recommend looking into over there. We have Plantier. Plantier is another one. They've been around for a while, but now they're integrating all these things and they're using AI, and there's autonomous things. There's autonomous jets, autonomous missiles, even like UAVs. And yeah, it's great. And it's cool that we have this technology, but you just said it right there earlier. What happened? And we can sit here, and I mean, Trump loves using that. I watch a lot of that. Like, I study what he says. But he says that a lot. What if? Who cares about the what ifs? I think it's good to think of the what ifs because this is basically like the Manhattan Project type shit. This is an arms race. Whoever has the most in resources, integrity, innovation, they're going to be the ones that win in the next 50 years. They're going to be the ones that win in the next 5-10 years. They're going to be the last ones standing. And it's not a simple thing as, it's just AI. It's just taking no, it's not just taking our jobs.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be the thing that gets us to the stars, helps us improve our planet, helps us fix these things. And when you're using it for the wrong things, and it's great that it's being used in defense, I feel like that is a cool thing. But when you're giving up too much in a short amount of time, of course, it's a double-edged sword. We're giving too much without little thought, because we're seeing this too. And there was just a thing that I don't know if you saw on X. So Grok is their AI. So what had happened is somebody's, there was many people, they were taking pictures of people, and then they were doing it to they happen to be younger people too.
Can you share that? Even. Do you have the ability to share that?
What is it? The X children?
Yeah.
Children.
Oh, I said yeah, I'm interested to see that. Things have gotten so bad that I just try to avoid watching news. And
because it's a hate farm. It's not a hate. Well, yeah, it is. It's like you go from a commercial to hearing about 3 people dead, 30 people, and then you hear the headlines, and then it goes to an Applebee's commercial.
Yeah.
And it's just we're so desensitized from stuff, and it's sickening. I think I don't know if it's the right word is a psychosis or a hysteria, but I think people are so used to things, and I think AI is causing us be like less social.
Mm-hmm.
It's causing us.
Oh my gosh.
Because when you're going through, and you're reading the thing right there, you see.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was happening, and the thing is that thing, you can just go on X right now, and you can @Grok, and it will say they had removed it or something. I don't fucking remember, but yeah, they went ahead and did that.
Oh my gosh! Wow. I don't know what to say, man.
Yeah, and these are in people are supposed to sit here and be like, yeah, these guys are going to do fine, man. The guys who are in control. People, if you're listening to this, I don't care how old you are, how young you are, what you're doing. Consider your skills. Consider what you have. Consider the car you have parked outside. Consider the computer, your device, whatever. This AI shit is about to take us into a whole different realm, and not only that, but the economy is going to go a whole if this AI bubble continues to go. And it's also too, when we're talking about this, the whole social side, right? People are using AI now for therapy, and then you have this AI that is programmed to tell you, hey, hey, you're okay, you're doing this, or this person, da da da. They're programmed to tell you. The system prompt is programmed to be that way, and yeah. Oh, what is this?
Okay.
Is this CBS?
Let me play this clip. I don't know. Let me put it. Will it let me play it right here?
Generated sexualized images of children. So in response, a post on Grok's X account says it is urgently fixing what it calls lapses in safeguards. This latest controversy comes as more Americans are expressing a general distrust and even hatred of AI. So let's talk to technology journalist and host of the Rip Current podcast, Jacob, joining us now. Somebody give me Jacob's last name in my ear. I appreciate it. It's just Jacob in the teleprompter. Jacob Ward, thank you so much. Your family line would want me to say your full name.
I appreciate that. Hi, Reed.
Segment. So this Grok case, it is pretty horrifying. It looks like even Musk's platform says there's a need for a fix. How does something like this happen?
Well, Happy New Year, Reed. It is really probably not even clear to the makers of the platform itself. This is the nature of generative AI, is that it vacuums up, a planet's worth of data and then regurgitates it as a product. The people who even really understand why it does what it does. And that's part of why the New York Times is posing the question this morning: why do Americans hate AI? That is really the fundamental question that's sort of facing that the industry at the moment, is this incredible American animosity that has been building toward this stuff. And I think it's fundamentally because of the ways in which these companies don't really understand how their product does what it does. And if it does go on to do what they have promised, which is, for instance, make a tremendously transformative effect on the economy, that's going to wipe out people's jobs. That's going to wind up meaning that who gets a job, who gets a loan, who gets bail is all going to get determined by this technology. All that seems to be just scaring the heck out of Americans going into the new year. And this Grok episode is just the icing on the cake here.
Well, and then we see the plan by President Trump and so many tech leaders who've gathered at the White House to throw tens of millions, if not billions of dollars in what to me looks like a modern era space race, right? The U.S. versus China in the AI race. They're throwing money at the problem, but they're also elected officials. How do they square this distrust and even distaste for AI with the fact that they are beholden to voters who put them there in office?
Well, I think they're in a really tough position politically, because on the one hand, there's very little you can say that's bright about the American economy at the moment in terms of its growth potential, except for AI. The AI companies, the Magnificent Seven, are accounting for most of the recent stock gains. So if you're an elected official, that's a big part of this. You've probably also been sold on the idea that there's some sort of jingoistic reason to support this industry in its race against China. But, a recent Gallup poll looked at that question with voters, and voters don't care at all whether China gets ahead on this stuff and would much rather see it regulated, even if that slows the industries down. And so elected officials at the federal level are continuing a pattern that we had seen long ago with social media, which was no regulation whatsoever. This is, of course, why the states are stepping in here, is because the federal regulators have been entirely asleep at the wheel with AI.
And I'll add on to that, too.
Well, Jacob, this is...
there was something that might have been a part of a bill, or I don't recall what it was, but they wanted to also go through and federally say that states can't regulate the AI, and they can't regulate, they're doing this and doing that. They were trying to do that because California wanted to go through. I only use them because, we're from California, so I see a lot of California news. But they wanted to go through and start regulating it too, and then Big Boy, Uncle Don and his crew, they came on through and were like, no, we don't want this. Same thing with a lot of Republicans. Come on, guys. When you see stuff like this, I don't remember how many times in the fucking news last year. Remember how many times we were hearing about people using the dress up AI thing, the undress people from their schools, or teachers doing that to their students. Remember that? Dude, it was
Yeah,
like that
yeah.
every single other day. There was some story coming about that somebody was doing this. Guys, these
Wow.
and that's another thing I want to tell you is
It's money.
it's also money. And okay, these corporations, even these small little guys that are out there, the government is actively using this data to also track you, to surveillance you. There is a lot of companies that are just coming out of the woodworks, of course, with vibe coding and AI coding being a big thing now. But there's these other companies, and there's a term a lot of people use in the cybersecurity world. They're called honeypots. And what these honeypots are a way for the FBI or the government overall to get access on people. And so that could have been a way that happened, or somebody at that company reported it. But be careful with these AI services you use. Just because it says you can connect your Google doesn't mean you should. When it comes to even Google, don't put your personal information in there, guys. Don't put your you got an ID or something. No, don't put your birth certificate in there. Don't put any of that, because who's to say that there's not a leak in the data somehow in the future? Who's to say there's not already something lurking inside their servers and nobody knows just yet? Please be careful with what you say and you do with this technology. Be careful with don't use it for bad. You're being actively tracked. You think that everything you do, you're mindlessly just going on TikTok, you're searching things on Google. You mindlessly do this, but slowly but surely, yeah, they're gathering them. They're knowing more about you. Sickening, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's kind of scary, right?
And this, when we're giving up so much for so little, and like they said too in that clip, we understand some of what this AI is doing, but you can have as much safeguards as you want. Like, and I've experienced this myself when I've tinkered and done a little bit of like prompt engineering. I guess that's what they want to fucking call it. But I've been able to tinker and get the AI to do things that are bad, that could be used for bad, and I've reported it.
So,
but it's scary. Like, nobody knows. You can do all you want, but it's the user at the end of the day.
So take a look at this. I want to play this for you.
We are charged on any given day with investigating
crime. Well, this is on Minneapolis, right?
Homicides from taking place, preventing carjackings. That's the work of a police officer in a city. Meanwhile, we have ICE agents throughout our city and throughout our state who, along with Border Control, are creating chaos.
Police are so busy now responding to the mess ICE is creating, they're not able to be as responsive to the people they're supposed to serve. That's what they were just saying in those clips. Meanwhile, we continue to see daily examples of ICE agents using excessive force against civilians. We're seeing ICE agents brutalize both immigrants, suspected immigrants, and protesters on the streets of Minneapolis, tackling people, deploying tear gas, smashing windows, and pulling people out of cars. These are just some of the scenes. We've seen ICE agents get physical, even ripping phones out of the hands of citizens trying to film their activities. We've heard from a reported father of 6 who told Sky News that his children went to the hospital because ICE agents threw a tear gas canister underneath his car. We've seen videos like this, showing an overzealous Border Patrol agent seeming to threaten someone they've detained with pepper spray to the face, which is apparently excessive enough that the agent was seemingly restrained by another officer who appeared to know better. I guess that's good, but still, this is happening out there a lot. Even the president of the Minneapolis City Council says he was assaulted by ICE agents while observing an agent carrying out an arrest.
Wow.
I'm going to talk with him also in just a moment about what's actually happening on the ground. These are the kinds of heavy-handed tactics the administration is defending. Secretary Kristi Noem even said ICE agents are doing everything correctly. It has never been more clear that the Trump administration is stoking this chaos on purpose. And we've seen this movie before. I mean, Trump used aggressive ICE tactics in Los Angeles and Chicago to create chaos, which he then used as justification to call in the National Guard and ratchet up tensions even further. And now he's considering a more drastic escalation from Minneapolis. Today, Donald Trump threatened to invoke the Insurrection Act, a rarely used law that would allow him to send the U.S. military into the streets. But unlike his National Guard deployments, invoking the Insurrection Act would allow those troops to carry out law enforcement functions like making arrests and conducting searches. It would militarize the city of Minneapolis, pitting U.S. service members against their fellow Americans. Trump knows his ICE operations in Minneapolis have been a disaster, just like almost everything he's doing is a disaster. But Donald Trump does not know how to admit when he has failed. So instead, he pours more fuel on the fire, stokes more chaos, and makes things worse. Starting us off tonight is Miles Taylor. He was, of course, chief of staff at the Department of Homeland Security during Trump's first term and has been speaking out.
Okay. There we go. Now, I tried to segue right into that.
Yeah,
I thought that it was important.
I think that is really important. I'll just say that this government is they're not for us.
No.
This is not a world 10 years ago when we had Trump the first time, 2016, right? When he came about, right?
Yep.
That was a different time. A lot of things were different. This go around, there's definitely, I'm trying to word this without trying to sound like a radical or something. But this is the beginning of something that may rock the U.S. completely. And I say this, and I'm not trying to sound this way because, like, you could be like, well, last year happened and they just sent down the military and there was a...
Yeah.
No, I think people are slowly but surely waking up. People are getting pissed. Okay. And we had this discussion before. I get that some of these people that are here in the United States, they might be sex offenders, they might be criminals, they might have murdered.
Mm-hmm.
But we're in the year of technology, right? And the government already works with these corporations. They could get data to find these people. They could also just be more careful with how they're doing it. Why are we not doing that? Why are people being dragged? Like, come on, I can find people within 10, 20 minutes of an image of somebody. You could be behind maybe your house, maybe whatever you're doing. I can find an image of you within 10, 20 minutes. Why are these people not doing this? We're putting not only Americans at risk, but the human, everybody at risk. You're putting everybody at risk. When you're going into these towns, you're radicalizing the thing so these news corporations can eat it up even more and make it into it's such a big problem. We have the means to actually do this right. We don't need the military. We don't need this. We have the means. What the fuck is going on? Why are we doing this? If there's a sex offender who's an illegal, you guys fucking know this. Why not take care of it a different fucking way? Seriously, why not do it that way? Like, I don't understand what, like, is in this Neanderthal mindset of these people, Dad, and the people who are listening to this. You can't tell me that this is brain dead. This is stupid. This is probably the most stupidest situation America has ever put themselves in. And there's been many situations we put ourselves in. This is stupid. These people, yeah, if there's somebody out there that's doing nasty stuff and they're an offender and they're an immigrant, you know this information. You know where they're at. You can take care of it a different way, man. There's different routes we can do. Yeah, they're going to run, of course. Yeah, some of these people are going to react the way they are when they haven't done anything, or they're just here illegally because They came here for a better life. The thing is, though, is and I've talked with people, the immigration system right now is fucked. Okay, it takes way too long to get a visa. Like, thousands of dollars to even get over here. Thousands, and not only that, but for you to come here and then you got to risk every single day, especially with what's going on. That is an ICE agent gonna, is a border patrol person gonna try to pick me up? Is a police gonna think that I'm this? Is this person gonna think, because based off of my skin, that I'm illegal and they're gonna call the cops on me? There's been situations that have happened like that, and that clip, and showing that clip, and the viewers even hearing or listening, there's no need for this. There's no need. We have this technology. We have the means to do things. I don't understand what this enforcement is. I don't know, maybe it's like my brain, but it don't comprehend.
I don't
There's so
either.
many different routes that they could like take care of this issue, and I do agree that you should come in here legally. I do agree with that, but what happens to those people that were already here that came illegally, that have been working jobs, contributing to society, paying taxes, existing? Whatever happens to those people?
So it says here to become a U.S. citizen through naturalization, you generally need to be at least 18, permanent resident for 3 to 5 years, demonstrate continuous U.S. residence, be a person of good moral character, pass English and civics tests, and take an oath of allegiance. But requirements vary slightly by path, like marriage to citizen or military service, with specific rules for age, residency, and language. Here are the core requirements. Age and permanent residency. Be at least 18, a lawful permanent resident, green card holder for 5 years, or 3 years if you're married to a citizen. Continuous residency. The United States required 5 or 3 years with physical presence rule. Okay, 30 out of 5 years. Good moral character, English civics, oath to allegiance, application form N400, file your application, blah, 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 blah. Yes, and I do agree that if you are a known sex offender, you're a cartel member.
Yeah.
A gang member. Well, a cartel is a gang. It's just organized crime.
Fancier
way of saying it.
Yeah.
It's basically a domestic terrorist. So, but you can't tell me that what we're seeing on TV right now, this is taking me back to World War II. It's taking me back to what I saw in videos. Children being ripped away from their parents, or parents being ripped away from their children. And I agree to a degree that if you're going to be in the country, you're somebody who's been in this country for over 20 years. Yeah, you should get in trouble if you're not here legally. You should have something like, you should be taken to court and given a period of time to where you can become a citizen after you've been in trouble for it. A lot of times they'll just send you back to your country of origin and then give you the chance to do it the legal way.
But like when they send people off like that, all those years later, or even some time, it it's like all their lives they've contributed. Like, think of just a random person, right? Like a guy who, let's just say somebody who lives next door to us, okay? Like, let's just say there was a guy really nice, friendly. He happened to be Mexican, right? Came over here. He's not here legally, of course, but he pays his taxes. I don't know. He works doing, I don't know, construction or something. Whatever it is, right? Something. He's paying taxes. He's already doing things. I feel like sending them back with what? Like, they lose. It doesn't help out the system. You're losing somebody who's already paying taxes. And there are cases, though, and I sometimes forget. Some people are being paid right under the table.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's those sort of things, and there's just so many different routes we could go.
So I remember in 1994 here in California, I think it was called Prop 94, where they were going to take away medical and everything for immigrants, people that weren't legally here, or people who were here but weren't legalized citizens. And people fought and argued about it and stuff like that. But never in my lifetime have I ever seen anything like what is going on today with this stuff in the country. It's scary, okay? If we look, ICE in California, okay? ICE raids in California. Here's one. Here you go. Okay, so this comes courtesy of NBCLA, and I will share this. This is what we're seeing. Okay, here we go. This is what we're seeing in the US right now. And this is what we're seeing in LA.
Big news we're following this morning. Ongoing immigration raids here in Southern California have many people concerned about what comes next. Another rally happened over the weekend, pushing back on the federal response.
And NBC4's John
That's
Caddy
crazy she's over there. I forget.
No.
to take us inside a demonstration in Highland Park, John.
Yeah, good morning, guys. More and more of these immigration enforcement operations continue to happen, and we focused a lot on the fear that it creates in the community. Highland Park, the latest in LA. Hundreds gathered at York and Figueroa last night for a rally. Organizers say
Okay, real quick. Okay, let's look at the demographic of the people in these videos.
But also across the country, and it comes after
It's everybody.
Immigration enforcement operations
There's a white guy.
locally since the new year. Just since January 1st, NBC4 has tracked nearly a dozen operations across the county. There is one concentrated area that you see there. It includes Highland Park, where protesters told us that a food vendor was detained last Monday.
It's credible. Continues to happen. It gets worse and worse. And I am going to call on every politician, from the governor to our senators to our Congress members.
Everyone's really frightened because I know people who work on the streets in the neighborhood, and these are just regular people. We're not frightened by any of them. We're more frightened by ICE.
And we're still working to get more information after social media posts made us aware of this other operation in Compton. This was on Saturday. Appears to happen outside a church.
Wow.
As people are begging federal officers
A
to release the
fucking
man they
church.
took into custody there. Protesters say they're going to continue to make their voices heard just as often as these immigration enforcement operations happen. Adrian, back to you.
All right, John, thank you.
So, okay, sorry. So, I you know, what it comes down to now is that you've got the right saying that they're doing the right thing, the left saying that the left saying that the right is doing the wrong thing. And It takes me back. It takes me back to this. This stuff has already affected my work.
Yeah.
The people that have been working there, a lot of them lied on their forms so that they could work here. Somebody that I worked with who is here legally had gone to a store here in the local area. It's called Cárdenas. She happens to be a Salvadorian that works here at the place that I'm employed through. She was harassed for hours and told her papers were not legitimate. She even had to call the person that did the papers for her. They had to call the courts, everything. She was just going to go buy food so she could eat the rest of the week. And she was harassed. She was fucking bullied. And she's legal.
The green card holder, right? But that's another thing. You just read it right now.
Mm-hmm.
I had to have a fucking green card for a certain amount of time. Okay. And then I gotta wait. But hold on, wait, before I even get that, I gotta wait and make sure I can get in to get said green card. Mm-hmm. Then I gotta go through this whole other process, be here for a certain amount of time. For that to happen, even though I'm here legally, I'm not a full-on citizen. It don't add up. It just. And then there's this rhetoric too that is going about that it's like some people have claimed that they're like, oh, because of immigration and mass immigration, that's why there's inflation. That's why there's this. That's why this is this that way. I think that is a variable, yeah. But I don't think it's the whole. I don't think it's the whole thing. I mean, we did have an increase of immigration during the last 5-6 years, yes. But I don't think if you do the math, it just don't add up. It don't. I think what's causing us more of a problem is the fentanyl crisis. And if you go look online and see how much we're spending on even more people are dying from fentanyl than they are a lot of other things. And there's a lot of other problems, and you sit there and you work. I don't know how much hours you work a week. I mean, I know you do like 40, but I mean the people listening are just the average person. Like you put all this time, all your taxes, you got all this going to this, going to that, for your government to fuck over your neighbor, to treat your neighbor like they're nothing. It's just it wrongs me because I've seen so much. Dude, we've been in Southern California for how long? You grew up here. I've grew up most of my life here in Southern California.
I've lived here on and off since I was 8 years old.
Yeah, and if you've lived in a place like this, you know how it is. We and even if you've been in other places like where we were at in Utah, it don't matter who you are, dude. And especially in like the lower income places, it don't matter. We don't. A lot of us, and that's the thing, is there's this emphasis of it's this community, it's this community, it's that community. It's overall a poor community, and no matter what your skin color is, there's a big problem. And then when stuff like this happens, it causes even more of a rift. And when there's people who like, we're just trying to exist, man. Yeah, like, come on, man. You've had friends that have happened to be Mexican, whatever it is, black, whatever. It don't, to me, that don't matter. Somebody's skin color, it don't matter to me. I don't care who you are. If you respect me, I'll respect you.
The other thing,
I don't care about your religion. I don't care about what politics you're on, you're following, whatever. Your skin color. As long as we're cool, and you respect me, I respect you.
The other problem,
I don't care. Yeah.
the other problem is that everybody that happens to have dark skin, they're a target. That's sad.
And it sucks because we just had Martin Luther King Day, right? Do you feel like it's a neglect to that man's legacy, the way the world is right now? Well, not the world, but our country. Don't you feel like it is kind of neglecting all the civil, all those people from back then, even too? All those people that fought for these civil rights, for for us to live, so we could all coexist, where we didn't have to go to a separate bathroom or drink from a separate water fountain.
Ride in the back of the bus.
Right, and we could talk about many things. It sucks, and it feels like a lot of in my opinion, a lot of what that man and many other people did has been forgotten. And it's not something stupid like, oh, dude, I'm a white guy, so I should be this way. No, the way I grew up and the way we grew up, I know you feel this way. It didn't matter who you were. We're suffering together. Dude, I remember sharing stuff. And I remember, man, we were so, like, growing up, we were so kind. Like, yeah, we'd fight and stuff, but we always broke bread. It was like, dude, if you had $1, I'd give you, I got $1, you got $1, let's go get a soda and some sweets or something. Something like that.
Yeah.
I remember it was so, I didn't think of, because you're that, because you happen to be this. No, I was just, sometimes I miss that sort of, that sort of view. And I mean, yeah, obviously there was racism and there's always going to be, but for a while, for years, it felt, at least here in California, it felt like we were making a lot of progress. It felt we were helping out people. We were making sure that people were being accepted, no matter your race, your identity, your sex, whatever it is. It felt like we were going into a really good point. We were heading where we should be going.
Yeah.
And then all of that, reversed.
Yeah.
And
it's like,
sucks.
We just saw that thing, that clip, and it just immediately went from that into something else. And it's like, that's what it's like today. And then being able to live and pay the cost of what it takes to stay in a home.
Yeah, to exist, yeah.
Whether you rent or you buy. It's 2026. When I was 21 years old, I lived in an apartment, in a studio apartment. It cost $425 a month with all utilities included.
Wow.
I paid $425. I had a telephone. Okay. The telephone was a landline telephone. I paid $15 a month for phone service with voicemail and all the features on the phone. I had a cable box. The cable box cost me $15 a month. Basic. And then I later on I added like HBO or something, and then you would occasionally get a free month trial. So do the math. We're 25 plus $15 a month for the phone, and then $15 for the cable. That's it.
What, 450, 460 about?
Yeah.
a month.
And
And
then
then how much for groceries though?
okay, so groceries to feed me one person a week, $40, $30. Most of the time I worked in a kitchen, so I would eat my lunch at work, and lunch was provided, whatever you wanted. It didn't matter if you wanted to make tacos for lunch. You could make them. Let's see. I just said again. I could have whatever I wanted. If I wanted a chicken sandwich, I could put it in the fryer and make the chicken sandwich. It was included with my work. My insurance for my car, my parents paid that. I don't know, $50 because I was under 21 or under 25.
Yeah, it's going to be a little pricier, yeah, huh?
So now, groceries. Now let's take this for example. Okay, let's go back to 94 just for a second. How much was a gallon of gas in 1994? Let's
I wonder
look.
you.
How much was a gallon of gas in California in 1994? Are you ready? Around 85 cents. Yeah, around 85 cents. And in some spots it was a little higher.
Yeah,
so,
like the LA probably.
Yeah. So let's see. Let's delve a little deeper in it. Are you ready? Here we go. I'll share this. Okay? This is going to blow your ever-loving mind. All right. Let's share screens. All righty, here we go.
I love that feature with this.
Are you ready?
I gotta say that, yeah.
Look at how much it was.
$94?
Mm-hmm. 1994. Okay. Maybe this isn't the best site. That's the whole year. That has the data from, okay, so 7. It peaked a bunch in that. Wow, so it didn't really go that much above the dollar until about 98, 99 was when it started to go up. Yeah, so it was pretty stable. It was pretty stable because I remember in 95, a gallon of gas was $1, $1.02, $1.03, just depending on where you went. So you figure 87 octane, it was about $1. Yeah. And then, you went a little higher. But I know when I got my first car in 92, I could fill my tank up with $20. Try doing that now.
That's what, half a tank maybe?
About, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's different.
So, yeah. And then, like, we talked about this the other day. In America, everybody's dream is to buy a home. Look at mortgage prices, cost of a home, depending on where you live. We know here in California, real estate is insane. And how many kids are going to school right now to get an education, and they're working at Walmart?
It's like these, and there's a lot of people, that are going and getting these degrees, and there's not enough. There was like this idea where it was like, go to school, take it to debt, do this, da da da.
I was told the same thing. I was told
For
the same
what,
thing.
though? And now we're seeing, dude, the government doesn't. The government is not even taking care of the biggest issue, or even like putting some things aside and being like, "Yo, dude, maybe we shouldn't." No, anybody that's going to school right now, and I mean even myself,
Hmm.
if you're doing something, man, do some research in it. Do make sure it's something you expect to see yourself doing, and make sure that it's a job that AI is not going to fuck with. Because even before this AI stuff, like before it got really big, because it's always been around. I mean, at least as long as I've been alive, it's somewhat has existed in some different form.
Hmm.
But if you're, I don't know, I'm trying to formulate how to say this. I've met a lot of people, and I've met people my age, and I've met people even younger than me that have went to school or are going or working a dead end job or whatever it is, right?
Hmm.
A lot of the time, these people are suffering because this economy is not it it's not it's not built for that one individual, right? That wants to sit there and just focus on his one job, focus on doing this, do 40 hours, do this, do no. This is an economy that doesn't want to benefit those who actually put in the work. Put in. You could sit there, guys, and put in. I don't even know the thousands of hours into your job, doing whatever you're doing, right? But you do 12-hour days. You do, dude. You're still getting taxed. You're still gonna get fucked.
Hmm.
You're doing, and I see so many people my age doing that. So many people got it. It's not. These people don't care about us. Why put in that big of an effort for them just to neglect you? And I remember you talking about like you having a thing with that, and you were like, man, there was something happening at work, and you were feeling this way and this way. And I remember me and Tim talking about it, and we talked to you about it, and it's like, what else can you do? There's only so much you can do, and especially if you're like a manager or something, and the people above you even are not even doing their job. What else are you supposed to do? I don't know. It's really hard. Whoa, what's this?
Well, this is Trump talking about Venezuela and Trump talking about Iran and what's going on in Iran. And let's take a listen.
Thank you, Mr. President. Can you explain how you view, your great healthcare plan will impact Americans' health insurance premiums?
It's going to be it is a tremendous plan. It's called the Great Healthcare Plan. And we're going to get tremendous reductions, as you know, through, if you look at medicines and prescription drugs, they're going to come down by numbers that have never been seen before. And we're doing that by most favored nations. And other nations, whoever pays the lowest in the world, that's what we're going to pay. Right now, we're paying sometimes 10 times higher than other nations. So we have
that
favored
is happening,
nations.
yeah.
That's been approved. Other nations have, for the most part, agreed to it. And they had no choice. Otherwise, we were going to put tariffs on them. So the healthcare plan that we're coming, the money's going to be paid directly to the people. So it goes directly, not to the companies, not to the insurance companies. It's going to go directly to the people, and the people are going to buy their own health care. They'll get much better health care at a much reduced
Mr. President, pull out of NATO if it doesn't help you acquire Greenland. If it doesn't lead to
Well, we're going to see. NATO has been dealing with us on Greenland. We need Greenland for national security very badly. If we don't have it, we have a big hole in national security.
You also want Greenland because of what's happening to the environment. And the more that happens to the environment, there's minerals that we want from Greenland, and those are below the ice. And the more the ice melts, the more those minerals are valuable to the world. There's billions of dollars there.
especially when it comes to what we're doing in terms of the Golden Dome and all of the other things. We have a lot of investments in military. We have got the strongest military in the world, and it's only getting stronger. And you saw that with Venezuela. You saw that with the attack on Iran, with the knocking out their nuclear capability potentially. So
Potentially.
yeah, we're talking to NATO.
Wow.
Mr. President. Sorry, guys, you cannot push tonight.
I don't talk about that.
Mr. President.
You urged protesters in Iran earlier this week to keep fighting in the streets and said that help was on the way. Is help still on the way, or has your bar
Well, we're going to see. As you know, Iran canceled the hanging of over 800 people. They were going to hang over 800 people yesterday. And I greatly respect the fact that they canceled that.
Mr. President, Prime Minister Carney is in China. Prime Minister Carney is in China. How do you see the deals? Canada and China have just signed trade deals between the two partners.
Well, that's okay. That's what he should be doing. I mean, it's a good thing for him to sign a trade deal. If you can get a deal with China, you should do that.
Election in Venezuela.
Did Arab and Israeli officials convince you to not strike Iran?
Nobody convinced me. I convinced myself. You had yesterday scheduled over 800 hangings. They didn't hang anyone. They canceled the hangings. That had a big impact.
He's such a smug
You
motherfucker.
accepted Maria Machado's Nobel Prize medal. What do you intend to do with it, and why would you want someone else's Nobel Prize?
Well, she offered it to me. I thought it was very nice. She said, you know, you've had 8 wars, and nobody deserves this prize more than in history than you do. And I thought it was a very nice gesture. And by the way, I think she's a very fine woman, and we'll be talking again.
Say it?
What's the trigger for the Insurrection Act in Minnesota? What are you waiting for?
Well, the Insurrection Act, which has been used by 48% of the presidents as of this moment, the Insurrection Act also, if you look at it, I believe it was Bush, the elder Bush, he used it, I think, 28 times. It's been used a lot. And if I needed it, I'd use it. I don't think there's any reason right now to use it. But if I needed it, I'd use it. It's very powerful.
Why align with Delcy Rodriguez and the remnants of the Maduro regime and not with Machado, who has the support of the Venezuelan people?
Well, if you ever remember a place called Iraq where everybody was fired, every single person, the police, the generals, everybody was fired, and they ended up being ISIS. Instead of just getting down to business, they ended up being ISIS. So I remember that. But I'll tell you, I had a great meeting yesterday by a person who I have a lot of respect for, and she has respect, obviously, for me and our country. And she gave me her Nobel Prize. But I'll tell you what, I got to know her. I never met her before, and I was very, very impressed. She's this is a fine woman.
Do you notice how he? Okay, all right. Let me give you a little demo. Okay, watch me. Ready? A fine person. Great, wonderful person. Huh?
The March for Life is next week, and some pro-lifers are worried about the support for the height.
Look at his serious look.
Well, you know what I tell them? You're going to hear about it because I just taped a beautiful piece for them, and they're going to play it. And those are great people. I want to tell you, they're great people. Thank you very much.
Great people.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Okay, folks. What did we learn? What did we learn?
That I mean, the whole when they were trying to ask him, like, I don't know. That's like, yeah.
Me.
Yeah.
The
And
greatest
whole
people. She's a great
numbers never-
person.
or the whole thing he does all the time. Numbers you've never seen before.
Well, the proof is in the pudding. Everything is great. She's a great woman. She even has a nice ass. I've never had Venezuelan before, but I got the Nobel Peace Prize from a great person, and That's that. Yes, and what happened in Iran? I saved 840 people. Why did I choose that? And yes, you go ahead. President Trump, why does your hair look like it's a toupee? Well, because it's great. I have the greatest hair. I am the greatest man. And I'm the best president that's ever been in the United States. Look at the numbers. The numbers will tell, and they'll show themselves. Yes, you. Yeah, Donald Trump. Why are you letting all this stuff happen in Minneapolis, Minnesota? Well, in great times, great things have to happen. Look at the numbers. The next person. What did we learn?
Not a whole lot. And you notice the way he said the Insurrection Act. It's really powerful.
It's been happening for years.
It's like a play on, I can do it, and it's powerful. Like just a reminder of, and I'm not trying to look at it like sinister, like we're like some psychologist psychoanalyzing.
Yeah.
A dude, but that's the same shit Mr. Putin pulls on. He'll be like, oh yeah, no, we won't, if we have to, or no, no, I wouldn't do. And then you hear 2 days later that something is,
Well,
it's a constant, what.
Let's see. I'm trying to find one more clip.
Yeah, because it's so.
Yeah, I'm not. I can't really find anything because I was trying to find. Let's see. Why would be a disaster? Let me see if this will work. No, this guy can eat a dick. But what I'm trying to find. Okay, here. Let me show this real quick. I want to show this real quick clip. And oh, my bad. Hold on one second. Okay. No. Let me share this. Can we see this? Yeah. And I'll go bigger.
The country has witnessed one of the most dramatic moments in Latin American history. Venezuela's capital has come under attack overnight. We have seen pictures of huge explosions in Caracas. An aerial bombing campaign appears to have begun at around 2 a.m. this morning. And at some point, according to the Trump administration, Nicolas Maduro, the Venezuelan president, was captured and has been flown out of the country with the First Lady. What has happened today is on the more dramatic end of the spectrum of what we had imagined happening. I think many people over the last few weeks with the seizures of these oil tankers in the Caribbean Sea had started to think that Trump was perhaps cooling on the idea of a military intervention. And the scale of these strikes on major military installations right at the heart of Caracas is something that I think few people were expecting, and I suspect not even Maduro's regime were expecting something of this ferocity.
They had CIA operatives there for a while.
25 years.
Yeah.
Latin America have never seen anything like this. We've not seen anything like this, in fact, since 1989, when the US invaded Panama. This is the culmination of a 5-month pressure campaign by Donald Trump, which began in August when a $50 million bounty was put on Maduro's head for allegedly leading a narco-terrorist cartel, and then intensified over the following weeks and months with a major military build-up in the Caribbean Sea, series of deadly strikes on alleged narco boats in that region, and increasingly tough rhetoric from Washington.
What's happening in Venezuela is a disgrace.
And also from Caracas.
No es una tensión, es una agresión en toda la línea.
We don't know what Trump's next step is going to be. We do know, of course, that he is very against putting American boots on the ground in foreign countries. People in Venezuela, I think, are really on edge. Are they going to be plunged deeper into dictatorship? Is this the dawn of a new, more democratic day? I've just been speaking to a close friend of mine there who was on the verge of tears because they are just not sure what is going to happen over the coming hours, days, and weeks. There is no sign at the moment of US troops having been deployed on Venezuelan soil, which leaves a very big question mark over Venezuela's future.
Okay, and Anyway, that was from the fine folks
Guardian.
over at the Guardian, and I don't. You know, and I'm probably going to sound very left by saying this, and so be it. And we're almost 2 hours into this podcast, but I'll we'll end it with this, and then you can say whatever you want. We are doing exactly what was done during World War II in this country. And that's it's turning into, as the last part of what you said, is America going towards imperialism? Is America kidnapping Maduro and Venezuela beneficial for our country? Should we continue to protect our allies? Why is U.S. no longer the center of innovation?
Because of this. Exactly. When we have, and it didn't start with Trump.
No.
It didn't
no.
start with Obama.
No.
It didn't start with Biden. It started when you were growing up, and throughout most of your life. We have given the things that like this controller, right? Okay. I don't know where the hell it's been produced. Maybe
Probably in China.
Probably in China. Probably in. You were right. I don't know the hands of that phone you have. The same thing with that. China. Yeah.
China.
We have given up because of the means of something that, there's a need for it. We've given up way, way too much to the government and these corporations. And I feel like maybe I'm weird to say this, but I feel like the people who started this country they're probably, if there's a place where spirits go, they're probably looking and being like, what in the fuck is going on?
The Shadowlands.
Yeah. Oh God. But this is not the country they designed it for. This is not this.
This is imperialism, son.
Yeah, and this is there's no need for these kind of things, and I feel like we should really leverage our allies, leverage what's going on over there in Ukraine. And I say leverage it in a way to tell these people, tell Russia, tell China, back the fuck up. But come on, guys. Don't you think it's a little weird? Okay, because I remember watching a fucking video, and you remember watching a video too, explaining what's going on in Venezuela, or what would happen. This China would come, this and that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think it's a little weird that nobody went up, nobody tried attacking us? Nobody did anything. Everybody's just been like, whoa, we don't condemn that. We don't think that's right. I'm just saying, there's a lot of things that are. Do I think Trump could be working with Russians? I don't know. But it sure fucking seems that way. And I've said this for almost fucking 10 years.
Okay, if he's not,
it sure seems this
then
way.
Why is this shit going on?
You destabilize a country. He would you've heard, remember how it was in World War II? World War I? They had puppet states.
Yeah.
A lot of these countries, they would put certain people in place to make sure that they did that. I don't know. I'm not saying that's the case. Trump, don't shoot me and kill me. I want to be alive. I want to have kids. But it sure seems that way. Because you destabilize, if you want control, you destabilize a country from its root. And that's what is happening. Look at everything. Look at the way, dude. You can't even fucking compliment somebody, no matter who they are, without them thinking like it's weird or like Sometimes it even feels like opening the door for somebody. It's like, dude, you don't need to thank me. I'm just doing it. Or like, some people like give you that, like, it's just, it's weird. It's weird because this is what people have done in the past to destabilize other countries. You go in there, you get the right person, you get the money, you get the people. I mean, come on.
That's what's going on.
Look at the demographic of people that voted for Trump in the regions that were voted. Look at the education, their IQs, where they were, how life is. It paints the biggest picture ever.
And how many of those people that voted for this man are now asking themselves, ¿Por qué? Why? Why did I vote for him?
Why?
I can count many on my fingers. And then there's the others who just don't give a damn and didn't vote at all. So I myself, I don't really believe, and I never have believed, that the Electoral College is the right way to go. It's so shifty, but they say that it's flawless the way it works. And then you had Trump saying that there was, voter fraud, and this didn't just start with Trump. This has been going on for years. Let's go back to Al Gore and before that. And anyway, but
it's so weird. It's all added up to this point. And we can
I'm just at a point where it's like, even speaking about my political preference, I'm judged. They think I support everything that's bad if I'm not a Republican. And the Democrats think that the Republicans are bad for the choices that they make, and vice versa. But to me, let's put the fact that I could be either Democrat or Republican. I'm definitely not a Trump supporter. And there's a lot of people that aren't now Trump supporters. And it's a great country. And now they don't like them anymore. They can't stand the choices that this man has made in office. And because I don't support Trump, I'm already degraded for that. I don't talk politics on any of the social media shit that I use, especially on Facebook, because I've got a lot of friends who are Trump supporters. But it's okay for them to be supporters of Trump, but it's not okay for me to say I can't stand Trump. So it's like, do as I say, not as I do. And in any podcast that I've ever done since I've been doing this stuff, I have never gone on the record and said that I'm not a Republican. I am not a Republican. I have never been a Republican. I've always been a Democrat. I believe in a socialist type of government. And I see the reasons that some of that doesn't work, but I see the reasons that some of it does work. I do not support the man. And aside from the fact that he is a convicted felon that's in the highest office in the country, in the United States of America. We're the United States. We're in America. North America, South America, in the United States of the U.S. The U.S. What happened when somebody lied and broke in and stole information? He was thrown out of office. He was impeached. His name was Richard Nixon. He was a liar. If you don't see what is going on in this country right now, we have just hit every fucking thing that is going on in this country. And last week, We talked.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
We talked about social media and all the bads that it's doing. Whether you are a Republican, still a Republican, and you agree that this man that's in office is not good for the direction of this country. People look at the prices of groceries. Everything that that man promised us, he's doing right now. You voted for this guy. Now we're invading other countries and taking their president. What about Mexico? Why don't we do that to Mexico? Mexico's got oil.
They got cartels. They got all that.
The same thing that's in Venezuela. And we're focusing on Venezuela. We've got the situation in Ukraine, in Ukraine, whatever. And we've got the situation with Russia. I personally think that the situation in Ukraine and in Russia overpowers what's going on in Venezuela and what was going on in Venezuela. You've got a country of people who just want to be left the fuck alone. But yet we invade Venezuela.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And then you also, where, you know, there's funding going to certain countries. And you know which country I'm about to talk about.
Well, gee, which one is that, Dylan?
And that whole thing going on with them killing fucking babies over there, and all because of Zionism, Israel. Yeah. Yeah. There's so many problems that are domestic that are happening right now that we need somebody to lead us. To lead us in a way where it's like, hey, I got your back, you know?
We haven't had that in a long time.
We haven't. The last one we had, and he somewhat tried, was Obama's administration. They did, and you could sit here and tell me you did this and tell me, come on, what the fuck happened when he came in? All those things he put into place after 2008 to take care of the American people, to make sure that the economy came back.
We were strong, dude. We were strong back then, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That man did a lot more for this country. And dude, even when there was remember that election, even Mitt Romney would have done a fucking better job than Trump. I would have, if Mitt Romney ran, as a Republican, for sure, dude, I would side with Mitt Romney, because there's a lot of what he believes that I believe. There's a lot of things that I'm a little on the right about, but I'm mostly on the left. I'm kind of in the center, but we don't need the hand holding. We need somebody that's going to take care of the boat and navigate us in the right path. We don't need somebody who's going to take the fucking boat and make us drown. And I'll just leave it like that. That is where we are. We are a drowning, sinking ship. We are 250 fucking years for this. For some fuck that was a businessman.
Mm-hmm.
And government and business are not synonymous, okay? Let's just put that out there. Running a business, running a government, they are not synonymous. They are not the same.
That's just it. Trump's not a politician. He's a capitalist.
He's a capitalist. He's a businessman. He's running this country like it's a fucking business. It's not. We are a country for the people. We are a democracy. They are my ancestors, your ancestors, you are related. Our ancestors, bro, they fought for this. When they came over here all those years ago, they came here for the idea of a better world, a better tomorrow, a place where they can practice their religion freely, speak the way they want to, be able to speak up when the government's doing something wrong. We're losing that. And if you think the ICE enforcement that is going on right now is right, I I hope you align yourself better. Hope you find the whatever God you're worshiping. I hope you find your God a little closer, because your God, this shit is not fair. I don't care who it is. We can handle things a little different, like I said earlier. But we're basically ending. This is like the peak of Rome, right? And if you read a lot about how Rome fell, this is where it begins. This is sort of this, when you got the senators, you got the people, and we're not killing each other
No.
necessarily, but we're backstabbing. You talk bad, like, okay, for an example, I don't know if you remember her. What was her name? Marjorie Taylor Greene. She pulled out. She was going to run for her district again. She pulled out. She was like, no, because she knew that her district one was going to be like, nah, you're not, even though she was siding with what she believed for her people and the people she was representing, she was doing things to represent that. But she knew that those people, because how this Trump whatever hysteria is, she was like, no, I'm not running again. Even though she was a full-on like repub siding dude, was to the point where it was like I felt like she dreamt of this guy, had wet dreams of this man. It was to that point. This chick followed him so much. Yeah, and I mean,
there it is right there.
We are seeing, because it's like, if I can't literally kill you, I can kill your career. I can kill how people think of you. I can kill how this does it's a whole different way. They're going to shadow ban you. They're going to make sure that, you do this, that. No, you're not going to be able to do that. You're not going to. There has been tells that some people have even been denied from banks for having some shit like this happen. Some banks not even wanting to mess with them. Like I just, it's such a we are witnessing the downfall of America, and it's such a peak point for us as a society. And I think that's what, because it's like, what I believe in is, I feel, is when there's not enough power to the people themselves become neglected. Why? Because they become used to that. It's like sheep. You become used to that. What else are you supposed to do? You need to make sure you have, like we said earlier, you need to make sure you have a job. You can find a fucking job. You need to be, okay, you have a job. You need to hold it down. You need to make sure this and that. You're going to conform because you have to. That's why you're not seeing all these people fucking protest right now. I feel like if the world were a little different, maybe a lot more people would be protesting, dude. Because it's like, dude, the way this economy is, you can't. Dude, even getting sick, like right now, dude. Let's just say you got sick right now, right? How much PTO do you have?
I don't.
See?
I have like,
or those sick days.
5 hours. I have 5 sick days, yeah.
But what happens to those 5, 6, you actually get sick and you're gone for 2 weeks. Oh, and then I got to do unemployment, and then I got to do this and do that. And no, it's not. This world is not sustainable.
Not now.
And we have wrecked it.
Yeah.
We have ruined it. We know how to fix it. We know the problems. People are just running around like chickens with their heads cut off right now. They don't know what the fuck to do. We got old people who have no clue. They can barely navigate how to fucking read an email on their phone.
Yeah.
Let alone they're running our country. They're in our local government. They're doing all these things, and they don't even know how the hell AI works. Or at least what we know about it. How does this do? They just think it's fucking magic. And these are the same people that are running. They're taking care of your taxes, where they go, making sure, your roads are doing this and that. Do you really want these elected officials to keep on running your fuck the country, your city. The you know, that city council you have, are they actually doing for the benefit of you? No. Because they got fucking money coming in from these investors, dude. All this and that. World's richest country, my fucking ass. If we were, the people would be rich too. And there's only a short amount of people that are the rich. We should be rich. We should have our cake and eat it too. Okay? And I will always stand with that. I don't, and that's, and no, and it's not like this stupid socialist idea where it's like, oh, well, you know, all the money should be going like this and all this. And no, we have people that are taking advantage of people at the bottom. And because we're at the late stage of capitalism, more and more and more, what happens when AI fully takes over, right? Your job, the economy, every single thing is AI. Who the fuck is gonna buy? Who the fuck is gonna buy the shit down those fucking hot Cheetos when there's nothing anymore? There's nobody working there anymore because AI took over. Who's gonna buy that? None of these people who are in your offices are thinking about that. There may be some, but they're so focused on keeping their position, because we're having midterms, we're having this, we're having that. It's just not sustainable. I don't know how many times I could say it, but just pay attention to what your local government's doing. Pay attention to what these people are actually doing. If you could take the time, and I'm not saying go out and go rob the J.C. Penney's. I mean, do those even still exist?
I don't know.
But
Walmart.
Don't go rob. If you genuinely care and you want to see a change, even a simple thing of liking something you like, that is a thing that can change the world to something, dude. Like, if you really actually care, go out there. You know, it might be scary going out there, or even making a tweet, liking, or I don't even know what the fuck they call it, liking a video, posting a comment. And it's not just that, but I think it's also too, respect your neighbor. We all fuck up. We all do wrong. We should be kinder to the people who live on our block, the people who we see, the ladies, the men we open the doors for, the dog we see walking randomly and it comes up and wants a pet. I mean, sure, you might want to be a little eerie, but we'll end it off there. I mean, I don't know. We'll end it off there, but hey, I had a good time this week.
Yeah, me too,
week, man. I think I talked a lot more than I expected.
That's what I wanted. I wanted you to.
Because I'm trying to launch my thing, and I said last week, I was like, oh, God, I'm going to launch this. Nah, I'll practice a little, do a little more of these sort of things, and I'll do it. But, yeah. Anyways, I mean, it was cool, dude. I'm glad you had me here again.
I would love to have people on the podcast that feel the same way. And I would even encourage people that don't feel the same way to come on the podcast.
Yeah.
Because not everybody's going to have the same opinion that we have. And I know that for a fact. And I mean...
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all, man. Not at all. And I openly welcome that. And I know that there's going to be people that could come on and aren't going to like what I'm saying. And they're going to have a reason. And you know what? Your point is as valid as mine. And I'm always looking to interview people that want to argue. And if I can argue with you, or even it doesn't have to be an argument. We could be
a discussion.
Right. We can be adults that have different opinions. And just because we have different opinions doesn't mean that I'm going to target, you right-wing fucking idiot, or you left, blah, blah, blah. I don't it doesn't matter to me, because maybe you'll make a point that I don't see. But from everything that I'm seeing right now, what's going on and the economy, it's scary. And you can't help but notice that what's going on is not right. So, and that's that. So if you like the podcast, please feel free to drop a line in the podcast. You can comment. If you have any questions, feel free to message me, and I'll give you my email. I believe my email is on this podcast. I believe I have an email address there. And, I would love to have you come back on next week or be a permanent side host with me. I'm not a political guy. I don't normally talk politics because I don't like it. But I feel like now, more than ever, in the past 20 some odd years, it's definitely time that people stand up and be heard. You don't need, like he just said, you don't need to go burn down a J.C. Penney's if they're still in business. Or you don't,
course.
Yeah, or you don't need to look like that bearded guy that he was mentioning earlier. What's that guy's name again?
Mitch something. Mitch McCormick.
Mitch McCormick. I don't know who the hell that is, but if Mitch McCormick is out there, please feel free to listen.
Just stop by
hit
and
us
tell
up,
me
man,
what's
because
up.
we'd love to meet you. But I think I did better this week with ums and
I did too.
and stuff like that. But it wasn't as noticeable with you, Dylan. It was more noticeable with me because
It's like you're aware of it, huh? Yeah.
I'm hyper aware of it. And then, see, I just said it. Hold on. I just
Hey, I said a few times too. It's fine.
But okay, shut up. But yeah, I listen to the podcast when I'm at work, and I go back over it, and I think of things that I know other people may neglect or not hear, and then I think to myself, I said that way too much. I said and So,
yeah.
and I also don't like to use the word literally because it's thrown out so much these days, but sometimes literally does encapsulate everything that you're talking about. So at any rate, that's it, and that's that. And I also, anyone listening, if you want to be heard, I'll give you the link. We can join up. We can talk a little bit. I try to always do a podcast on Mondays. I was going to do one last night, but I was preoccupied mentally. And I would really like to talk next week. One of the number one topics that I would like to talk about is mental health. And I would really like to delve into that. I know it's something that a lot of people feel is stigmatized, but I do think that mental health is very important, and I would really, really like to talk about that. And it's just, this podcast is just, I would like to keep it something different every week. We don't talk politics very often on camera or just on the microphone. I normally don't, and I never really have, because I don't want to be judged for my feelings about politics. And I think that we all do in America, and I think other countries look at us and they laugh at us about our politics and who we have running our office. And it's kind of a shame that we're looked at like almost now like fucking imperialist. And it's like that's what we fought for in World War II, because some whack jobs in other countries wanted to take over the world, That's, and I just said again. But that's how I feel about it. So anyway, if you have questions, please feel free to shoot me a message on the little thing, the show notes, and where you can comment on the podcast, whether you like it or not. It doesn't matter. I have pretty thick skin. And if you're somebody who creates music and would like to make me a kick-ass bumper, I would love that. I don't know how much I could pay you for it, but I would really like that. So anyway.
Quick 30. Yeah, quick 30.
Yeah. So that's it, and that's that, and that's the end of the podcast. One more thing before I close this out is the music that I use in this podcast does not belong to me. It belongs to purple-planet.com, and I thank them for letting me use their music on every podcast that I've ever had. I really do appreciate that. And if you haven't checked them out, purple-planet.com, go over there and take a look at some of the music. And it's just two guys that aren't asking much. They're just letting you use their music, and all they ask is that you give them recognition. And if you want to buy one of the recordings and use it for yourself, you can buy it.
Yeah.
And it's yours, and Bob's your uncle. So purple-planet.com. So for me, Timothy, and for Dylan, we bid you adieu. And thank you for tuning in. And what else? That's it, right? That's it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll do like we talked about. Thank you guys for watching. And if you're just listening, thank you for listening, because I do have a face for radio. Have a great week, and I will see you next week.